Let's see, this one's going to air on the 18th of September. Already. Just think about that. Year's almost over. At least we're 3/4 of the way through. Quite incredible. Just flies by. I hope your day is going well. Interesting weather. Actually, this is the time of year that I think we here in the Northwest enjoy the most, where it's just simply nice and kind of moderately hot, cool at night, just beautiful days. Days are getting shorter though. Yep. Soon to be very short. But enjoy it while you got it. Enjoy it while you got it. Listen, I want to just take a moment. This is certainly by way of review. We were studying on Sunday regarding the issue of those people who are going through the process of just becoming hardened. And we look around us in the world and there's many things going on, and certainly we can see that people are just simply living their lives. I think it's quite interesting when you look at what Jesus said about the end times in Matthew chapter 24. One of the things that he spoke of, he said, it'll be just like it was in the days of Noah. That people were just living their lives. They were marrying and giving themselves in marriage. In other words, they were just kind of indifferent. They were just going along, apathetic. And this is something our enemy just loves about our human nature. We have a tendency just to kind of just apathetically go along and just roll with it, float along in life. But for the believer, we see life a little differently. And we realize that God has saved us out of this world. Actually, we're no longer to be participating in the world the way that we used to. In fact, in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 18, Paul says, look, I'm just asking that you don't continue, in verse 17, to behave the way that you once did. The rest of the world lives in the aimlessness or the purposelessness of their, own way of life, but I'm asking you not to do that. This is not what you've been taught. This is not who Christ is for you. And one of the aspects of that aimlessness, if you will, is that people just kind of ignorantly go along. They just coalesce. Now this is the way that the whole world lives. All of our loved ones and neighbors that don't know Christ, or as we'll be talking about this Sunday, they're practical atheists if they're believers, but yet they're not living in the newness of the life that God has entrusted to them. These people kind of live in this, what we see all around us, you could call it insatiable impurity, meaning that they just are desperately seeking to satisfy some, itch that they have, some need in their life, thinking that that's going to be the satisfying factor of their life. Truth is, God created us to be satisfied only with Him. That's why in Mark chapter 8 and verse 36 and on, Jesus said you could gain the whole world, but if you gave it even that in exchange for your soul, it would profit you nothing. We gain more by losing our life and finding Christ than we do by gaining our life and losing Christ. Gain the whole world, it means nothing. Interesting verses in Psalm 49, it says, no man can by any means redeem his brother or give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of his soul is costly, and he should cease trying forever. In other words, it'll never end. For you and I, the beauty that we have in our heart and soul is that we have this incredible privilege, the privilege of life and the way that we view life, and the fact that Christ has become all and in all. He's everything. He's actually, our eyes have been opened, it says in Ephesians 1 and verse 18 through 23, and we see everything that we didn't see before. Christ is above everything, and He's the fullness, and He's entrusted that fullness to the church. And we're part of that fullness. He's the one that is to make up all things. He is to be the means and the method and the motive of everything. God intended it that he would be so, the very fullness of God in Colossians 2:9 and 10. And when the world sees this, it's like a light shining in the darkness. It's like a person that's been living in a cave. It's like what the Word of God says in Matthew 9. They that sat in darkness have seen a great light. You and I are that light. You and I are to be that reflection. You and I, in the midst of the same adversity that everyone else in the world goes through, are to have a life, a reason, a purpose. It's not aimless. It's not purposeless. It's not empty. It's not just self-serving. It's not just materialistic. There's a spiritual reality to all that we have. That is the foundation of everything, not only that we do, but everything in terms of what happens to us and the way that we respond to it. I hope today you'll add this little ingredient. I guess it's not little. It's the eternal ingredient into your life. That Christ will be all in all. He'll be all. Yeah, and he's in all. Till next time, friends, God bless you.